All right, trying to hike across the Sierra with stormy weather closing in. It sounded dangerous when we told you yesterday of the plans of a group of adventurers doing just that.
As it turned out, it was. Ed Pierce has the update.
Members of the History Expeditions team spent a portion of the day at a local indoor climbing gym. It was an unexpected diversion from their planned trip. They'd left the Silver City Cemetery early yesterday morning after pausing for a few thoughts and words at the gravesite of Hosea Grosh. He and his brother are believed by a growing number of researchers, including one member of the team, to have been the true discoverers of what became the Comstock lode. Hosea died shortly before proof of their find could be taken to civilization, and his brother, Ethan Allen Grosh, died in the attempt. The team is intending to trace his route to his grave on the other side of the Sierra and to draw attention to the brothers and this piece of lost history and a new book on the subject. The trek was planned for 5 days, and the first, a hike over the Virginia Range to Washoe Valley, went according to plan.
Yesterday was absolutely perfect. It was perfect. It could not have gone better.
Elka Reimer is an experienced long-distance trail runner, a veteran of the group's previous expeditions, retracing relief efforts to the Donner Party. Her definition of perfect apparently can include high winds and deep drifts.
I did get blown over by the wind at one point, but you know, that's to be expected. It's February, right?
In any case, they crossed into Washoe Valley, camping for the night at Davis Creek. The next leg was up Slide Mountain into the Tahoe Basin. They finally made it to Washoe Valley, spending the night at the Davis Creek campground. But with neither the forecast nor the weather improving, they decided to stand down.
Mother Nature just had different plans for us today, and so we decided that the danger was too great to go up through Slide Mountain with the current snow conditions, and we have decided that it is equally as dangerous to go up through Olympic Valley and up and over the top tomorrow.
It was, they were all quick to say, a timeout and not a surrender. A wise decision intended not only to avoid putting themselves but others in danger. They will be back. To be clear, it's your intention to finish this thing?
Absolutely. We plan to finish this, yes.
Ed Pierce, KOLO 8 News Now.
They said they'd be back, and today they were. A team of experienced trail runners set out today to complete a 100-mile trek across the Sierra. Their aim, rewriting a chapter of early Nevada history by experiencing it firsthand. Ed Pierce picks up their story.
Patriots Day, and then
the last time we saw these people, they were having fun in a local climbing gym, having just hit the pause button on a much more strenuous undertaking, a 100-mile wintertime trek across the Sierra. They'd left the Silver City Cemetery the day before after pausing for some thoughtful moments at a sadly little-noticed gravesite of an early prospector, a minister's son from Pennsylvania, and the goal was a remote spot across the mountains and the grave of his brother. The names of Hosea and Ethan Allen Grosh have been barely afforded a footnote in history, but they may be due so much more. Recent research, some of it by expedition members themselves, point to the brothers as the real discoverers of what we all know as the Comstock lode. They'd followed thousands of others in 1849 to California in search of gold. 9 years later, found them still looking for their fortune in the dry canyons of western Nevada. Others doing the same cursed the bluish mud that choked their equipment. The Grosh brothers may have been the first to recognize it as silver. They needed only to raise the money to work it, and that meant taking ore samples to an assayist on the other side of the mountains, then taking the proof to bankers in San Francisco. But before they left, Hosea struck his foot with a pickaxe. Infection set in, and he died. Grief-stricken, his brother decided to make the trip with a friend, Richard Buck. They set off in November, leaving their cabin, maps, and other belongings in the care of a man named Henry Comstock. The streak of bad fortune continued. Ethan Allen Grosh died and was buried in a little-known camp called Last Chance. Buck lost both feet to gangrene and returned to his native Canada. And Comstock? Well, you can guess the rest. He got the credit, sold out cheaply, and big money interests buried the story of the Grosh brothers.
they never had the opportunity to actually capitalize on it, and we think that's a shame. So part of what we're doing is bringing the public's awareness forward that the Grosh brothers were the real discoverers of that lode.
Their story is only now emerging, told most recently in a book penned in part by historian Hal Hall, a member of the team. The trek was planned to follow the route that the two took from Silver City to Last Chance, grave to grave. The first leg took them over the Virginia Range to Washoe Valley, and they made good time in high winds, but the next day added snow and, worst of all, an extreme avalanche danger warning in the path ahead. They decided to stand down and wait for safer weather. And we know what those next few weeks were like. And finally, today they picked up where they left off. If all goes well, they will arrive at Last Chance on Friday, dig through the snow to find Ethan Grosh's gravestone, say a few words written by one of his descendants, and then leave with thoughts gathered while struggling through the difficult miles in his footsteps.
We have about 85 miles ahead of us, and you know, we're thinking along the way. We will definitely be talking about their journey and what they endured, and ultimately the legacy that they left.
In Washoe Valley at Davis Creek Campground, Ed Pierce, KOLO 8 News Now.